Soaking up the pre-match atmosphere here as we wait for things to get started. Won't be long now before we get through the formalities. A warm welcome, one and all. I'm Peter Drury, and providing analysis and expert opinion alongside me will be Jim Begley.
Thanks for that, Peter, and may I say a big hello to everyone.
Here's how the teams line up. The whistle. Feyenoord lost in the first leg away from home. And that is a result that leaves them staring elimination in the face. Floats one over. De Bruyne. Yaya Toure. Now it's Aguero. Aguero plays it wide. De Bruyne. Now the pass. And through to the goalkeeper. Over to the left. Now he's wondering who wants it. And it's Sané. Aguero. Now it's Sané. Played out to the wing. Gundogan. Cross from Gundogan. Tony de Vilhena. Jens Toornstra. Tries lifting it over. Walker gets into the right position to intercept. Laporte. Yaya Toure. Laporte. Kyle Walker. Sané. Again. And it's Van Persie. Tony de Vilhena spreads it towards the left. Long and high towards the flank. That'll be a throw. Van Persie. Jens Toornstra heads it! And that gives them an overall lead. And however many surrounded him, that is what he can do.
Well, I think that defence there thought they were in good position and they had him where they wanted, yet somehow he's worked the scoring position when it didn't see him on. It's really crafty business, that.
Feyenoord take the lead and take charge of the tie. Walker. Sané. Sané tries a through ball and a header! It's a goal! And the scale tips in their favour. Just so calm under pressure.
Oh, this fella's as slippery as a needle the way he freed himself to score. I mean, for that defence, it was a case of, now you've got him, now you don't. Brilliant.
do not know what's hit them. The tables have been turned. Sprint it wide. Oh, good interception. Forward it goes. And it's Aguero. Passes it through. Now it's Toornstra going through. Jens Toornstra really struggling to influence the game.
They're just trying to negate his influence, and it looks like whatever it takes.
It's Van Persie! Good stop, that wasn't easy.
Well, what can I say? Truly wonderful goalkeeping.
Repelled by the keeper. Sonny. Plays it out to the wing. De Bruyne gets into some space. He's left his man. De Bruyne hits one! And he's there to make a great save.
Well, you can't ask for much more than that. A difficult moment he simply had to deal with.
Tony de Vilhena. Oh, this is a fascinating tie. Tight, exciting, energetic. Out to the flank. Gets it into the middle. Header! He's done very well to get to that.
Well, as Tesco, Peter, the keeper has just received an A+ grade.
It's a brilliant interception. Sonny. Fernandinho. Jens Toornstra. Tony de Vilhena. Deftly done. Oh, that's clever. And that'll go straight through to the keeper. De Bruyne. Oh, a delicate ball. Keeper's ball. Tony de Vilhena. Played out to the wing. Done very well to intervene. To the left, and it's Aguero. Aguero goes up and over. Sané. I think that's a corner. Yes, it is. Up to meet it. Well, he should have done better, and he knows it.
Gundogan did give it a fair old crack, and he'll be encouraged to step up again.
Still going. Where to next? And the flag. Van Persie hits it! And that's off target. Poorly directed kick from the keeper, he's given it away. Looks like a good ball through. Oh, that's neat. Looks to thread it through. It is a corner. No foul, says the referee. Fence has got rid of that. Now it's Van Persie. Looks to clip it forward. The ball needed to be better there. It's a wasted chance. It's been intercepted, and that will come to nothing. Van Persie spreads it towards the left. Great run this, he's covered quite a distance. Plays a clever pass. Massive leap! Tries to get it forward quickly. Now it's Aguero. Kyle Walker. Van Persie. Van Persie with the ball through, cut out in the nick of time. Yaya Toure. Aguero, out to the left it goes. The referee's had a look, and he's blown his whistle for half-time. Genuinely interesting game here, very, very watchable. 2 goals, 1 each.
Well, having lost the first leg, Peter, an early goal settler was first on the menu, but there's still time to serve up a main course here.
So in they come for the break with nothing to separate them. The score 1-1. Second period then underway.
Feyenoord can feel really happy with themselves. The scoreline doesn't back it up, but they've played with urgency and purpose and can't afford to lose patience in this second half. They've got to persevere.
Aimed in towards the centre. That is a poor kick by the keeper, being intercepted. Now it's Aguero. It could be in here. Tony de Vilhena plays it forward. And the weighted pass. Great strength, too strong for his opponent. Aimed long and direct. Played out to the right. Looks to slip it through. Aguero. Goalkeeper's ball. Toonstra. Company. Fernandinho. Now it's Aguero. Aguero plays it out to the flank. Tries to dink it in. Well read, he sorted that out. Jens Toonstra. Erik Bottegin. Jens Toonstra. Tony de Vilhena. Erik Bottegin. Tony de Vilhena. Now it's Van Persie, out wide to the right. Jens Toonstra with a long pass out wide. Here's another to add to football's endless list of could-haves and should-haves.
Look, the game is full of ifs and buts. If only the pass could have completed its journey.
Out towards the flank. And it's it's Van Persie. And Persie plays it into the channel. Plenty waiting in the middle. And Persie decides to play it back. Could try cutting inside here. Time to deliver. How about going for goal?
That's what has to be done now, no question about it.
Well, this isn't the time to talk about risks. Aguero! Great build-up. It all deserved a better ending.
Well, there are a few pockets of space that are being exploited, and they need...
That looks a foul. Yep, referee's given it. He knew what was coming. That's a yellow card. And Persie. And it's Aguero. Now it's De Bruyne. Fernandinho. Gundogan. Fernandinho goes looking. Forward it goes. Van Persie. Gundogan. Sane looks to dink one in. Well played, he saw that coming. Tries to get it forward quickly. Tony de Vilhena. And it's Van Persie. It's come loose. Lobs it in gently. Chance to shoot. And Persie unable to make it happen for all his good intentions. Going through. De Bruyne. Lovely bit of skill. That's a good intervention. Things could have got far worse than that. He is not one readily to admit defeat. Don't be surprised if he tries that again. Sane. Aimed low and direct. Gundogan. Chipped through. Sane looking to get on the end of this. Gets up to head it! And he's found the net! They've done it! It was coming! They have their reward! However they tried to stand in his way, he just was not to be denied.
Demonstrated great strength there. I mean, he really had to hold his man off and just create enough room for him to be able to get the shot away. And I think it's just top play. Listen, it's up to them now how they think about it from here, because for me it's crying out for them to force the issue.
The referee's awarded a free kick. And he's going to have his name taken.
I just think it was a cheap foul to give away.
Sane. Kyle Walker. Yaya Toure. Yaya Toure pushes it out wide. Sane in with a header! And that would have been game, set and match.
Yeah, he knew only too well that to concede then would have been tough to recover from. That could prove a big moment in this game.
Oh, he really wanted that.
Yeah, and you can hear how the crowd are reacting to this too.
Tries to get it forward quickly. And he's got the ball glued to his feet. He can get that clear. Feyenoord look as though they're about to make a change.
Well, with the introduction of such a tall lad now, we may well see a more predictable, lofty route forward, but it's still very hard to deal with that, you know, if they can affect it right.
Toure plays it out to the flank. Sané, he's got away. Crowd calling for him to shoot. Forward it goes.
The further he went, the more attention he attracted. There was just way too much pressure for him to get the shot away.
Tries to stroke it through. Into the last 5 minutes. Yaya Toure. Sprint it wide. Well positioned to make that interception. Jens Toornstra. Gets it back. And it's De Bruyne. Aguero now on a hat-trick. And here's the chance to counter. Now the pass. Towering header! He's looking to get there first. Defending was physical, no nonsense, and it had to be.
Well, you could see he was eager to get a shot away, but there was too much flesh and bone in his path.
Changes here from both sides, in fact. Feyenoord opting to make a double change here. Jens Toornstra. Looks like a good ball through. That's it! They are out! Feyenoord bow out. Outmanoeuvred in both legs and on balance, the inferior side throughout. Your reflections then, Jim?
Listen, losing is never a nice experience, especially in knockout football, and it's all about learning from your mistakes and growing as a team, so this can act as a good learning curve for them. In defeat, there are still positives to take from this.
The warmest of welcomes to you. We await the conclusion of the pre-game formalities. And our live game is Sassuolo against AC Milan. This is Peter Drury, and next to me providing insights will be Jim Beglin.
Thanks for that, Peter. Hi, everyone. The excitement has really picked up now, and I'm eager for the action to start.
A quick look at the lineups. Off we go then. Sassuolo lost in the first leg away from home. And that sets up an enthralling second leg here where only a win will do if they're going to avoid a premature knockout. Hoofs it forward. Now it's Berardi and it's Matri. Gets it upfield. Kalinic. It's come loose. Lobs it in, header! This could fall anywhere. And he's there to hoof it away. It'll be a throw-in. And it's Matri. Berardi tries a through ball. Long and high towards the flank. Corner it is then. By the keeper. Kalinic. Calhanoglu. And the weighted pass. He's made sure that that won't get through. Into the channel. Onto Levo. Sassuolo putting their opponents under a lot of pressure in the early stages. Calhanoglu, now the pass. And the ball is out of play. A poorly directed kick from the keeper, he's given it away. Acerbi. Sensi. Sassuolo keep the ball but can't do anything meaningful with it. Aimed long and direct. Goalkeeper's ball. Rusacchio goes looking. Tries lifting it over. Done very well to intervene. Bonaventura. Biglia. Kalinic. Sassuolo still without an attempt on target. Tries to stroke it through. Well positioned to make that interception. Calhanoglu. Matri. Passes it through. That's a brilliant interception. Antonelli. Clips one through. Kalinic. Keeper goes long. Cuts it out. Plays it into the channel. Now here's the through ball. That's the throw. Looks like a good ball through. Sensi's cross. He'll have a dip! No, not this time.
Well, plenty of moving targets to pick out in the box. Obviously increases your chances of the ball being met like that by someone.
Antonelli dinks one in. Kalinic tries to get it forward quickly. And here's the chance to counter. He's having a look round. Looks to slip it through. Timely intervention. Tried to play it through.
Oh, that just required a bit more oomph to reach its target.
Tries a through ball.
Matri really got caught in a trap there and he just couldn't get out.
And it's Matri. Matri was alert to the possibilities, but in the end it's fruitless. Can't get the better of his opposite number. Looks to clip it forward. Rusacchio. Montalivo. Bonaventura. Billiard with a long pass out wide. Well played, he saw that coming. Forward it goes. Now here's the through ball. That's ruffled a few feathers, but well dealt with. Montalivo. And the through ball is intercepted. Aimed long and direct. Some astute defending to ensure they got no further. Sensi. Looks like a good ball through. Can he finish? And it's in the back of the net! And that gives them an overall lead. Well, that always looked the likely outcome.
Yeah, it looks simple, Peter, but it requires intelligent use of space and good understanding to pull it off.
Sassuolo take the lead and take charge of the tie. Rusacchio. Sassuolo are looking odds on to go in at the break with their advantage intact. Tries to dig up for the header. Oh, great save, real class.
Well, that was high-class goalkeeping there to back up his high-class wage.
Out wide to the right. Berardi. Coming up to half-time, leading, and things are looking pretty good. Well read, he sorted that out. Çalhanoğlu hoists it high. Scored near to half-time to give them a 1-0 lead. Kalinic comes sliding in. Played out to the wing. It's been intercepted, and that will come to nothing. Passes it through. Now the counter. And it's Matri. Bonucci. Çalhanoğlu tries to get it forward quickly. And the first half is done. Well, there we are, off they go for half-time. The breakthrough did indeed come in the first half, but there has only been that one goal. It is very, very tight.
Well, that certainly pleased the fans, and the players are definitely happy with that scoreline. The question is now, can they protect it?
Sassuolo come off having scored the only goal of the game so far. It's been tight, it's been exciting, and there is certainly plenty for us to chew on during the break. And the action is back on the way.
Sassuolo going well here, and they're in a good position to kick on and add to their lead. They don't have to overcommit, but they can place more emphasis on stretching their advantage without necessarily neglecting things defensively.
Looks to thread it through. Not offside that time.
Bonaventura only needed to check his run slightly, and he was in the clear.
Keeper's got good distance on that. Matri spreads it wide. Oh, well intercepted, really alert to the danger. Billia. Bonaventura. And it's Kalinic. Antonelli lobs it in gently. He's gone for it! It's broken loose. Çalhanoğlu crosses in a low one. He's had a go! Good, strong hand by the keeper. Sensi. Berari. Acerbi dinks one in. Questions were asked, but he's given the answers. Kalinic. Bonaventura. Who's ball? Who's going to get there? Now the pass. Oh, sweet feet from him there. Forward it goes. Looking to break out here. And it's Matri. Matri plays it out to the wing. And he's cut it out. Çalhanoğlu tries to get it forward quickly. Antonelli. Sassuolo just about have their noses in front. It is the slenderest of leads. Kalinic passes it through. Sensi. Aimed long and direct. Good challenge, he just stood firm. Billia. So we've reached the hour mark. Kalinic. Looks to slip it through. Now it's Çalhanoğlu. Played back in.
Well, this is exactly the approach they have to take now, Peter.
Well, hit and hope is just about the sum of it, isn't it, Jim?
Spot on, Peter.
And it's Kalinic. Antonelli. You would think the first substitutions will be coming up pretty soon. And the ball's come out! Oh, well defended, that had to be done. activity down on the touchline. It seems there's going to be a change. Massive leap! Boots it to safety. Good stop, that wasn't easy.
The keeper really dug out his defence then, a magnificent effort.
And he heaves it forward. And that has been clubbed away. Referee's given a throw. Bonaventura looks to dink one in. That's offside. Yes, it is.
Yeah, he was off. Ever so slightly, but he was off.
Berardi, nicely controlled. Sensi. Now it's Berardi. Bonucci floats one over. Oh, good interception. Danger averted for now. Sensi. Calhanoglu. Bonaventura. And he's made certain that won't get through.
Milan are definitely not going down without a scrap. Their attitude just can't be faulted.
Tries to stroke it through. Lifting it over, up he gets! Oh, and that should have been two.
Well, he's definitely kept the side in the game then. That's really good positioning. They could have doubled their lead there.
It so nearly came off for him.
Well, Peter, I think it's fairly obvious. He's one of the biggest influences out there.
Long and high towards the flank. Final checks on the touchline. A change about to occur.
Well, for me, this was the obvious substitution. He'd become just a little jaded, and as a result of that, he was most likely to make a mistake. I think sometimes when the body becomes tired, the brain goes with it, and I think that's happened in this case.
Kalinic spreads it towards the left. Can he put it away?
Milan are actually displaying tremendous fighting spirit. There's a real belief that they can still have a say.
Milan making another change here.
I think you have to admire his willingness to keep plugging away, but the manager has done him a big favour, I think, by taking him off. You know, he was looking very, very leggy.
Keeper goes long. And it's Berardi. Tries a through ball. And help's available out wide. Berardi with a shot! Oh, extraordinary.
Berardi really has shown an example of why indecision is fatal.
Milan have decided now is the time to make their final change.
Well, his stamina was called into question then, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with his heart and the efforts he put in. He was very willing, though, not quite
Chip
able.
through. Minutes away from what would be a huge upset. Aimed long and direct. Turns and goes. Has a swing at it! He has done it! And there's the goal they've been looking for. What about that, Jim Beglin?
It isn't rocket science, is it? You know, when you're defending, you react to the danger, but of course, you must spot it in the first place, and they didn't. You know, they're not really looking up to pick the runners, and it was a cheap goal to give away.
Sassuolo take what looks to be a decisive lead.
Well, look, Peter, I feel I've got to stress that there's still time for another, so we can't be too presumptuous yet.
Bonaventura, played out to the right. Flings in a cross. Oh, full-blooded challenge, and it
Milan
had to
have
be.
a simple task to find something sustained now and keep the pressure on.
Played out to the wing. Sensi. Decent ball. Cut out in the nick of time. Billia.
Look, their supporters must be going barmy about this because there's no sense of purpose in what we're seeing.
This lead then looking ever more decisive in the context of what remains of the game. Bonaventura plays it into the channel. There is the final whistle. Victory in round one. Still plenty to do, but the job is started. So, Jim, how do you reflect on what we've seen?
Sassuolo have just reminded us why we love this game so much. The seemingly impossible is proven otherwise, and they merit great praise.
So hello and welcome to you wherever you are. We are here at this most recognisable of venues in world football. It is the Camp Nou, the proud and impressive home of FC Barcelona. The teams then, Barcelona against Lyon. I'm Peter Drury and this is Jim Beglin.
Thanks for that, Peter, and may I say a big hello to everyone.
Here's what we believe to be the two lineups. And we're underway. Barcelona are back on familiar territory, having secured victory in the first leg, and they will make it into the quarter-finals, even with a draw here. Busquets needed to come up with a better ball.
Oh, that just required a bit more oomph to reach its target.
Played out to the wing. Too much on that, it's gone out. Philippe Coutinho. Passes it through. Oh, real! Can he score? Goal!
Well, if that was their intention pre-match, let me tell you, it's worked out very nicely. I think for the skipper to chip in with a goal too is a bonus, but this game has already taken on a real attacking edge, and long may that continue. And how about the timing of the pass and run? They've worked it before and no doubt they'll work it again.
Lyon take the lead, landing the first significant blow in what is certainly a significant contest. Now it's Luis Suarez. Barcelona have a free kick. Oh, no messing about, it is red. The player's body language here is a bit grim, it is not looking great at all. Lyon already a man down in these early stages. That has left the boss thinking about what harm it has done to their chances.
It looked avoidable and unnecessary, but it makes you think that he was trying to intimidate.
So what now? Lobs it in gently, gets it back. Played out to the right. Raphael gets into some space. Traoré. Very deftly done. That intervention was very necessary. Rakitic. Nelson Semedo. He's made sure that that won't get through. Busquets tried to play it through.
The movement was good, but the pass lacked authority, a cause of mild frustration.
Ferry. And it's Traoré. Long and high towards the flank. Raphael looking to get on the end of this. Header! No, he couldn't get the direction he needed.
Well, plenty of moving targets to pick out in the box. Obviously increases your chances of the ball being met like that by someone.
Milan does well there, alert. Sergio Busquets. Looks like a good ball through. Tries a through ball. Luis Suarez. Time to deliver. Massive leap! He will be livid with himself.
Do I really need to tell you, Peter, that he has to do better, especially from there?
Out wide to the right. Luis Suarez. Now the pass. And Messi! Oh, great save. Real class.
Well, what can I say? Truly wonderful goalkeeping.
And it's hoisted clear. Rakitic plays it backwards. He's had a go! Good stop, that wasn't easy.
The keeper really dug out his defence then. A magnificent effort.
Away from immediate danger. Digne tries lifting it over. That's a poor kick by the keeper, he's just given it straight back. Looks to slip it through. Can he put it away? There it is! Barcelona are back in business!
Barcelona are really pouncing on any stray passes in midfield. We're talking seconds from interception to the back of the net. It's counter-attacking heaven.
Barcelona take the lead.
It's so often the case with goal scorers, little influence, and all of a sudden, bang.
Ferry. Looks like a good ball through. He'll have a dip! Fists it away. Luis Suarez with a delicate ball. Now it's Messi. He's got away. Forward it goes. Tries a through ball. He's got options out wide. Gets up to head it! And he's there to make a great save.
Well, as Tesco, Peter, the keeper has just received an A+ grade.
And it's Luis Suarez. Digne. Jordi Alba Looking to get on the end of this. Timely intervention. Well, the ball's come loose and the chase is on. Fekir. None shall pass, that's the message there. Jordi Alba. Now the pass. Lewis. He's had a shot! Goal! Barcelona!
Unbelievable.
And the comeback is complete. That's wonderfully done. Crisp hit, true finish.
Suarez simply knew the ball was asking to be hit first time because of the way it arrived, and boy, did he hit it.
His second of the game, and an eye now for the hat-trick. Barcelona take a 2-goal lead and are looking good for the win.
Listen, it's up to them now how they think about it from here, because for me it's crying out for them to force the issue.
Fekir. And it's Fekir. It's a loose ball. Jordi Alba. Messi. Digne. Passes it through. And he's gone for it! Oh, the keeper's done ever so well.
Well, you can't ask for much more than that. A difficult moment he simply had to deal with.
Receives it from behind. Jordi Alba has been caught offside.
Look, I know our vantage point is very different, but he looked on.
Traore. Barcelona are in control here on the brink of half-time. Ferry. And it's Fekir. Fekir. Rafael tries to stroke it through. Oh, full-blooded challenge, and it had to be. Philippe Coutinho. Rakitic. Messi. Digne. Just 5 minutes left until the break. Sergio Busquets. Rakitic. Oh, well intercepted, really alert to the danger. Fekir. Played out to the wing. Traore. Jordi Alba plays it forward. Now it's Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez looks to slip it through. Digne looking to get on the end of this. Suarez has a go! He's done very well to get to that.
Well, that was high-class goalkeeping there to back up his high-class wage.
Keeper has beaten it away. Coutinho. It's a goal kick. Fekir. Done very well to intervene. And there's the end of the first half. Barcelona come roaring back in quite some style. We've got a very different game now. So there was the first half.
Well, give me a moment to get my breath back. What a super half of football. Incident-packed, goals, comebacks, and the match being turned on its head. Which way it's going to go from here, it's anyone's guess.
Barcelona head into the half-time break with a narrow advantage. It is 2-1. So off we go once more. Messi. Coutinho has it in a wide position, so what next? Raphael. Ferry. Now it's Messi. Messi floats one over, and he's there to cut it out. Gets it upfield. Busquets battles to win it back. Piqué. Philippe Coutinho. Aimed long and direct. Busquets goes looking. Vermaelen. Rakitic. Jordi Alba. And it's Messi. Digne. Hoists it high. Suarez looking to get on the end of this. Memphis Depay tries to get it forward quickly. Ferry. Fekir. With the ball through. Big chance! Vermaelen knocks it away. To shoot, and he just whacks it away.
That's top defending and preventing him turning, which can open up many possibilities.
Fekir. Good clearance and very necessary. And it's Fekir. Memphis Depay. Memphis Depay. Pumps it into the area. Repelled by the keeper. Busquets plays it forward. Now the counter. Just brushed off the ball there. Traoré looks to clip it forward. Good challenge, he just stood firm, shapes to shoot! Defence has got rid of that. Oh, he's really drilled it. He's left his man. Depay delivers. Keeper sees it all the way. Jordi Alba set up one goal so far. And it's Messi. Busquets plays it into the channel. Digne looking to get on the end of this. Going through. Heads it! Oh, just needed a better contact.
Lyon can defend those situations better by stopping the crosser at source.
Memphis Depay. And the weighted pass. Last-ditch defending, but that'll do. Looks to clip it forward. Memphis Depay, hit into the middle. Overhits and out of play. Forward it goes. Rakitic. He's got away. Shoots! It's a carbon copy of their previous miss.
They're just lacking the cutting edge, Peter, and while that's fairly obvious, the rest of their attacking play is actually quite good.
And that'll go straight through to the keeper. Has he found his man? Digne. Vermaelen. Barcelona haven't made a substitution yet. And it's Messi. Looks like a good ball through. A slightly better ball would have led to a very different outcome there.
Barcelona just had to make the ball stick, but came up short.
Luis Suarez. Rakitic. Digne spreads it wide. He acknowledges that he should have come up with something better there.
Was too timid to make it through the defence. It'll be noted and improved upon, I'm sure.
Ferry. And it's Fekir. Now it's Messi. Well, they could break here. Oh, he's broken through. He's Messi! Should have put that one away.
Yeah, he knew only too well that to concede then would have been tough to recover from. That could prove a big moment in this game.
There is some activity down on the touchline. It seems there's going to be a change.
Well, for me, this was the obvious substitution. He'd become just a little jaded, and as a result of that, he was most likely to make a mistake. I think sometimes when the body becomes tired, the brain goes with it, and I think that's happened in this case.
Tries to get some whip on it. Lyon going about it patiently, perhaps too patiently. Fekir with a long pass out wide.
They didn't manage to get nearly enough into the box, and that speaks of little ambition.
Tries a through ball. Now the pass. It's Luis Suarez! The home support won't enjoy that.
Suarez really did let them off the hook. They could have wrapped it all up.
And it's hoisted clear. In with a header! Size all around the ground. Horrible miss. Oh, he really wanted that.
Yeah, he's been at the centre of a lot of things, hasn't he? Mostly good, I should add.
Luis Suarez. Vermaelen. Now it's Luis Suarez. Suarez pushes it out wide. Out of play for a goal kick. Lyon have decided now is the time to make their final change.
I think you have to admire his willingness to keep plugging away, but the manager has done him a big favour, I think, by taking him off. You know, he was looking very, very leggy.
A poorly directed kick from the keeper, he's given it away. And it's Memphis Depay. Now it's Memphis Depay. Swung over into the middle. Aimed long and direct. Well played, he saw that coming. shot at goal! In for the follow-up! Plays it back. Last-ditch defending, but that'll do. And the weighted putt, towering header! And he's there to make a great save.
The keeper really dug out his defence then. A magnificent effort.
Messi. Looks to dink one in. Suarez gets into some space. He's got options in the box if he gets great lead! The whistle has gone and it is all over. Victory in round one. Still plenty to do, but the job is started. How do you look back on the game then, Jim?
Barcelona simply made their superiority count. They found cruise control quite early and didn't need to go to turbo.
Hello and welcome to you all from the Giuseppe Meazza in Milan. The teams then, Inter against Independiente. Well, I'm Peter Drury and I'm joined in the commentary box by the familiar figure of Jim Beglin.
Well, thanks for that, Peter. I'm more than ready to get going here.
Here's how the teams line up. The way. Inter Milan picked up a handy draw in the away leg, and so 90 minutes to find a winner, plus who knows, extra time and even penalties. Brozovic, Perisic, and it's Kandreva. Great challenge. So what now? Tries a through ball. Now here's the through ball. Looking for a decent ball in. Deflected behind for a corner kick. Through to the goalkeeper. Perisic. João Miranda. Perisic. Rafinha. Inter Milan cannot keep hold of the ball. Gets into some space. And it's Brozovic. Shoots! He's done very well to get to that.
The keeper really dug out his defence then. A magnificent effort.
And out to safety. Valero. He's gone for it! Goal! Inter! Inter Milan give themselves the perfect start. Can they build on it? That's surely a foul. Free kick. Oh, great ball! The shot's on! Adair. Inter Milan making the ideal start. It is something to build on.
What a good start to the game. I think their play has been fast and inventive, and this is a fine example of early intent. They've begun as they mean to go on, and another goal is on the cards.
Oh, well intercepted, really alert to the danger. Good run through the middle, but he needs support. That's ruffled a few feathers, but well dealt with. Eder goes up and a shot! Inter Milan are seeing a lot of the ball and have a 1-0 lead to show for it. Who's ball? Who's going to get there? Jean Miranda. Valero. So they got the only goal to make it 1-0. And it's Valero. And the weighted pass. Perisic. So who's he picking out? Played it again.
There's been quite a few crosses coming in from that left-hand side. Look, it's the width that...
Perisic has got himself a free kick. The ref's been lenient here. I doubt he'll get too many more chances. Rafinha. Looks to dink one in. Rafinha. And it's Eder. Perisic gets into the right position to intercept. Candreva. It's a very good battle there, terrific to watch. Done very well to intervene. And it's Eder. Played out to the wing. Going through. Oh, glorious footwork. And he's there to cut it out. Valero. Eder. That was good pressing. Forced the error to put an end to it before things could get even more threatening. The score's only 1-0, but that doesn't tell the full story. Valero, and it's Eder. Breaks on here, and he's surging through. Borja Valero tries lifting it over. He's in space and looking for options. Rafinha, there are a few waiting for it. Tries to get it forward quickly. He's got away. Plays it out to the flank. Oh, well defended, that had to be done. really wasn't very much in that, not far away from being a telling final ball.
That was just poor decision-making and a weak execution.
Aimed long and direct. Played out to the wing. Aimed in towards the centre. That intervention was very necessary. And the referee brings the first half to a close. Well, there we are, off they go for half-time. The breakthrough did indeed come in the first half, but there has only been that one goal. It is very, very tight.
Well, they showed glimpses of some wonderful football to go in with the lead at half-time, and that's definitely pleased the fans. I think they'll be looking to keep this intensity up now in the second half.
Inter Milan leading a cagey game here. It's had its moments, and it's 1-0 at the break. And if you're just back from your break, you've missed very little of the resumption of the second half. Inter Milan carry a one-goal lead into the second half. Just brushed off the ball there.
Yeah, that's top defending and preventing him turning, which can open up many possibilities.
Played out to the right. Hoists it high. Plenty waiting in the middle. With a delicate ball. Handanovic can pick that up. Adair. Candreva. Great strength, too strong for his opponent. No way through there. And it's Adair. Adair tries to stroke it through. Perisic plays it backwards, and they'll try. Gets up to head it!
That's a cracking strike, and it may have stung the palms of the keeper.
Still just a single goal between the sides. Now the pass. Now here's the through ball. He's gone for it! And he's there to make a great save.
Well, that was high-class goalkeeping there to back up his high-class wage.
Brozovic knocks it away. Gets a big chance! Oh, it's there! Back where we started! Now can they grab another? That was glorious. Pinpoint accuracy.
You know, I'm not going to be hard on the goalkeeper because that moved all over the place on its journey.
Inter Milan concede. We're now level here and on aggregate. Valero. Well, what about it? Inter Milan are hurt by just about the final punch. Jean Miranda. Eder. Oh, no, that's not the ball he wanted. Whistle's gone, that's foul. Eder. D'Ambrosio. I think the first substitutions will be coming up pretty soon. And it's Candreva. Perisic passes it through. Lovely feet. Looks like a good ball through. Rafinha. A chance to play it in. Could cross it here. Timely intervention. Long and high towards the flank. Throw it. D'Ambrosio. Rafinha. Lobs it in gently. And that'll go straight through to the keeper. Just about up to 75 minutes. It's a throw. Looks to slip it through. Chance to shoot. Threw himself at it, but he's got it cleanly.
Independiente showing a good level of intensity at this stage. They're calling on all their resources now.
Candreva. And it's Eder. Gets it back. Ball's loose. Who's getting there? Tries to dink it in.
Inter merit full marks for their attitude and application in trying to win this. It means an awful lot, obviously.
Chipped through. He's got options out wide. Battles to win it back. Hit into the middle.
Look, this can still go either way. It might be flowing one way, but there's still time for some ebb. I think you have to admire his willingness to keep plugging away, but the manager has done him a big favour, I think, by taking him off. You know, he was looking very, very leggy.
Brozovic.
Concentration levels are very good, and so is the commitment. This game could yet yield a winner.
Rapidly approaching the end. Extra time is imminent, unless something dramatic happens now. Danger averted for now. Now the pass.
Independiente showing a good level of intensity at this stage. They're calling on all their resources now. There's only one word for this, it's baffling. That team needs to figure out where the ball needs to be, and it's not there.
Eiter.
Look, this can still go either way. It might be flowing one way, but there's still time for some ebb.
Passes it through. Now here's the through ball. Well read, he sorted that out.
Independiente merit full marks for their attitude and application in trying to win this. It means an awful lot, obviously.
Steered out wide. Brozovic. Eiter, already of course on the score sheet. And it's Candreva. So nothing between them in 90 minutes, and we are in for extra time.
Yeah, and it's been a contest between two sides that were evenly matched on the day. Neither deserves to be on the losing side.
So a brief breather, and then extra time. Into extra time we go. Valero, D'Ambrosio, Candreva, Borja Valero spreads it wide. That is terrific skill. He's had a look, has a hit! Some good stubborn defending there. Eiter. Valero plays it into the channel. Corner. Can he dig out a shot? Oh, full-blooded challenge, and it had to be. And it's Candreva. Looks like a good ball through. Eiter delivers. Perisic with the ball through. Inter Milan given another corner. Repelled by the keeper. Rafinha. He's had a go! And in again. Goal! Inter! And they have an aggregate lead. Eiter was quick to move in. Keeper's handling wasn't great.
Well, for me, that's just pure predatory brilliance. It's not so much the finish, but the way he read the situation when nobody else was even alert to it. It's fantastic.
Inter Milan take the lead both in this match and on aggregate.
If they can manage to keep this momentum in their play, it'll go a long way towards helping them stay in front.
Goes wide. Goes for the cross.
That's a case of crossing in hope, and unless they provide some more options, it'll be more missed than hit.
Perisic. Rafinha. D'Ambrosio. Tries a through ball. Candreva gets into a good position. Incoming cross. Cut out in the nick of time. Forward it goes. Shots on! That's it for the first period of extra time.
Well, there's plenty of potential for a final twist in this tale. I think there's bound to be some late drama in the final 15 minutes of this epic.
Exhaustion, physical and mental. Will we find a winner? Well, the odds are that the next goal wins. Will there be a next goal? D'Ambrosio dinks one in. Ball has crossed the line and it's a throw. Great strength, too strong for his opponent. And Morabieta. He's making good use of his strength there, just refuses to be out. Gets his head to it! Oh, that could cost them.
That's a great response though, and it's a statement declaring that they're not done with this yet.
Independiente going about it patiently, perhaps too patiently. Now the pass. Crosses it. Header! Rafinha. Perisic. Jean Miranda. Looks to slip it through. Hits one! And in it goes! And with that goal comes comfort!
Inter are so well practiced in the art of keeping the ball through, wonderful passing and movement, and a real appetite to ensure it's reflected in their goal count.
He snaffles his third, and that earns him the match ball.
This is one of the best performances I've seen in a while. He's practically taken on this team single-handedly, and they don't know how to stop him.
Inter Milan have decided now is the time to make their final change.
Well, his stamina was called into question then, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with his heart and the efforts he put in. He was very willing, though, not quite able.
Inter Milan take a 2-goal lead and are looking good for the win. Oh, good interception. Jean Miranda. Candreva. Santon. And it's Santon. Eder. Can he put it away? Rafinha! And he's there to hoof it away. Santon tries lifting it over. Perisic passes it through. Time to deliver. Eder shoots! They are rampant! And the lead is 3! It is surely done!
Perhaps deserves a little bit of sympathy here, because that's a goalkeeper's nightmare. It's clear that the keeper was unsighted by his defence, and by the time he picked up the flight of that, it was too late.
4 in the game, he is the man. Into Milan, the final whistle. First hurdle cleared, on to the next one. So what do you take away from it all, Jim?
Yeah, we knew there was a sizable gap in the quality of both squads, and the story was told in predictable fashion.